Okay, to our next story. Now, three leading political parties, the PDP, the APC, and Labour, have faulted a recent poll about the forthcoming election, and this was conducted by ANAP, that the poll is misleading. In the poll, Peter Obi is listed as leading, Senator Bola Tinubu of the APC and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and Senator Rabiu Kwakwanso of the NNPP trailing. Now, Senator Dino Melaye has condemned the exercise, even as he averred that there was no polling unit in the social media. As far as the senator is concerned, the whole thing was only fit for the refuse bin. The ANAP poll has a tendency to mislead. Ibn Abo.
Firstly, let me say
I had a radio station reel the thing out, and I said the media was taught not to be in the middle.
If the wind had blown in favor of the one who called it trash, he wouldn't have called it trash. And we all know that. You see, it doesn't, for me, it says a lot, but it is not on a final note that, okay, this is what the 2023 election is going to look like, because it wasn't a physical poll. And you know that the one who won, according to ANAP, has a huge followership.
They say they gave him 23%. The second fellow came a distant 13%, the third 10%, and I think the fourth 7%.
For me, rather than fighting and saying all sort of things about this, go back home, go back to the drawing board and look at what you are not doing that you should do in terms of campaigning, in terms of, you know, reaching out to the people, to the electorates to, you know, win their hearts over. Sitting down and complaining and condemning all of these things does not hold water. It doesn't make any difference. It should be, you know, pick it up and look at what are we not doing right and begin to do the needful. That is what I see here.
Jide, a cynic said the best form of hope would be expecting something from nothing. So the poll has come out, but as I said a while back, it has the tendency to mislead.
Yes, that's the thing about
mislead judgment.
Opinion polls. You know, after Donald Trump's victory in 2016, the attitude of so many of our people, and even people abroad, changed towards opinion polls and what we call political prophecy by political journalists. They said, no, he could not win. Even within Trump's own team, they never believed that he could win. People were shocked by the outcome because the opinion polls clearly suggested that he was going to lose the election. But what did we see? Donald Trump won that election, and it wasn't the first. It wasn't the first. There was a time when we were told, oh, John Kerry will be the next president of the U.S.
Yeah.
John Kerry couldn't defeat George Walker Bush. So opinion polls help us to understand electoral patterns, but they are not exact science. Opinion polls are not exact science. So if anyone is pinning his hope on opinion polls, then that person does not know what he's doing, because it's not exact science, and it lends itself to all kinds of errors. In this case, for example, the Atedo Peter side, who is the founder of ANAP, was asked some specific questions, and he said that they used cell phones. In the U.S., to make the opinion poll credible, they would rather use the landlines, because they know that the landline sits in your house or your office. You understand?
That
means that person...
They're easily tracked?
Yes, that person exists. But this phone, you could have 3 or 4. You could vote multiple times. You know? With the landline, you cannot vote twice.
Yeah.
So, and it represents an individual from that house. You know that place. But with the phone, now, NIL has reached a subscription level of 93 million in Nigeria.
Okay.
I can tell you that out of that 93 million, perhaps half of them have dual lines. I know a number of my friends who even have 3 phones. 3 phones, 4, you know?
Rightly or wrongly.
Yeah, 4 phone lines. No, if because of the infrastructure challenge that we have. If you are sure that if you go to Maiduguri, a T-Salat will work fine, why would you take MTN with you? For example, if you go to Taraba State, some parts of Taraba, some networks some telco service providers don't really work well there. You have to go and buy a SIM of the network service provider
in that environment,
or the telco service provider that works well in that area. So what I'm saying is, if you sample, maybe you sampled about 50 people who have cell phones, is that really representative? Does that give us a representative, an effective representative by way of demographics?
Yeah.
It does not. A lot of our people don't use phones. They don't even know how to operate Android phones. For you to be able to vote in that kind of this exercise, for example, you must have an Android phone, not just an ordinary phone, an Android phone. How many of the poor people in our villages, in the hinterland, how many of them have Android phone?
All right.
Even if you buy it for your mom, she probably won't know how to operate it.
All right then. Welcome back. Let's take it home. Of course, from the top, we talked about the ANAP poll before the election comes, telling us that a particular candidate is ahead. Even about coming before a major election, you think this is the poll is you think it's a guide or something?
For me, it is not. Why am I saying this? Even those who have the phone, the Android phone to do it, some of them don't have data. They just have the phone. Let everybody say I'm using a big phone. They just receive calls and make calls. I know a few people who they carry Android phones about, no data on it. So without data, you can't be part of that. So it is very likely that it is just a number of persons, which cannot represent the total number of electorates in Nigeria.
What do you think the big essence is? The essence of the exercise?
Those who are behind it have their reasons. For me, it does not. It's not going to affect. In fact, it is going to. What this would do, rather than helping the one who was supposed to have won, it will bring more. It will create more awareness to those who did not win. To go back to the drawing board, and begin to work very, very assiduously to make sure that they cover every area where they are not covered. They make sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's. So it is, at the end of the day, it will just make them work harder and smarter.
Jide, I'm looking at the Southeast, which is supposed to be forte, of Peter Obi. But the Southeast is a hotbed of PDP
over the years.
Over time,
Yes, and that's why any survey that gives Atiku 1%
in the southeast
of the southeast is not something that I can take seriously.
It's not foolproof.
1% for Atiku, and then you give Obi 11% in the northwest and Kwakwanso 6% in that same northwest. There are some realities about our electoral character.
Yeah.
That this survey didn't bear in mind. Yes, surveys are supposed to give us logical insights into voting patterns, into the preferences of voters. But I can tell you that this one, with some of what I've seen, I don't think it represents the demographic distribution of the population and the way the population will vote sufficiently. I don't think so.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Obi has 23%, Tinubu 13%, and Atiku 10%.
Yeah.
Kwakwanso 2%. What this means is that Obi may get, if I'm to believe this survey, that Obi may get about 2 times the number of votes that Tinubu will score in this election.
Across board.
Yes, that's what it means. If the survey says 23% for him and 13% for Tinubu, that's about almost twice the number of votes that he would score, almost twice the number of votes that they expect Tinubu to score. In this election, I don't see how that is going to happen. So I agree with them that the youths will vote a lot more this time, but I don't agree with some of the findings. In fact, some of the findings are ridiculous, to say the least.
Okay, at this hangout, ours is just to help mold opinion based on the information reaching us. And I want to thank Babajide Kolade Utitoju. I have yourself a Merry Christmas. If you can.
Have yourself more than the Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And the Happy New Year.
Ibn Abba, enjoy your holiday.
I will. Yeah. I need it.
Okay. May the merry bells keep ringing for you, but please think Nigeria. Think it's important because we are spending the rest of our lives there.